So I was having a conversation the other night with a friend about who we thought was the greatest pop music recording artist of all time. And the name that came up for me, that often comes up for me, is Billy Joel. And there are a few people in that category, but Billy Joel comes up for me a lot when I think about that question, because in addition to being an amazing, just an extraordinary composer, of the music, the melodies over the chord progressions. In addition to that, Billy Joel is a phenomenal lyricist. He is an absolute poet. And, and that's in addition to his being a world-class player and singer. But as a recording artist who can both compose gorgeous music and write incredible lyrics, put those together, and it kind of elevates him in my mind above some of my other favorite artists in terms of having that conversation about who's the greatest for you. So for me, he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, for that reason. So then we're listening to some Billy Joel songs, and a song comes on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that song. And it's not one of those songs by Billy Joel that everyone goes to as, yeah, that's his biggest hit that year, or, that's the most downloaded Billy Joel song or the most listened to Billy Joel song. But it's a great example. First of all, I just love it. Love it, like it grabs me. And it's a great example of what Billy Joel, does in his music and songwriting that is so captivating. So I started thinking about, well, what is actually going on in that song? What is he doing in this song? I started kind of breaking it down a little bit for myself. And so then I thought, well, let's talk about it. Let's make a video about it. So the song it's called Downeaster Alexa. And it's a song about a fisherman. So I'll tell you the lyrics of the first verse. Well, I'm on the Downeaster Alexa, and I'm cruising through Block Island Sound. I have chartered a course to the vineyard, but tonight I am Nantucket bound. So welcome to Billy Joel's storytelling land. It's what he's so great at this, and he's got these specific images. The Downeaster Alexa is the name of the fishing boat, and he's cruising through this specific place, Block Island Sound, and he's chartered a course, but tonight he's Nantucket bound. So he's taking us on a journey. It's unresolved. It's the beginning of a journey of someone who's doing something with a purpose. But tonight I am Nantucket bound. Why? As a listener and a viewer of a story, I'm curious why, and it's not resolved yet. But it's introducing a character who has a goal. And now let's listen to the music under it. So this is in C. I think the song was originally recorded in C. I'm not sure, but I think it was. Well, I'm on the Downeaster Alexa. So right there, what is he doing with the music? He's got this really, really simple, beautiful melody, and in the chords, on the third chord, he goes to that minor sixth. So I'm on the Downeaster Alexa. He goes to that A minor, that melancholy, that chord that says, hey, this song is about something deeper. This song has a little bit of stoicism, of sadness, of something that is warming and human. And it's a beautiful choice, and right away it lets us know that this is there's a seriousness to the song, and I want to listen as a viewer or as a listener. So now in the second verse, he changes it up just enough. I'll do both. Well, I'm on the Downeaster Alexa, and I'm cruising through Block Island Sound. So notice there, he did not just repeat the first line. The second line is melodically, and in terms of the chord progression, it's a little bit different. It's almost as if it's one long line. Now, a lot of times in pop music, you just get a repeat. The first line, then the second line kind of repeats. But great songwriting and songwriters tend to link ideas, musical ideas and lyrical ideas together. And that creates a sense of, ooh, let's keep going. I want to listen to see how this resolves. And that's what he's doing. So we got these two lines. There's some slight variation from the first to the second, and it's beautiful and simple. And then in the third line is where he just kills. He just makes this choice that is so gorgeous and so, I want to say, not traditional or so unexpected and so powerful. So let me play it for you. And I'll play the first, second, and third line. Well, I'm on the Downeaster Alexa, and I'm cruising through Block Island Sound. I have charted a course to the vineyard. Are you joking? Like, what a gorgeous, gorgeous choice that is. And so you understand what he's doing here. The melody is on that C and then kind of going up to the E, down, it's kind of, there's five, there's like 5 steps he's going through. And then the second line. So we're kind of hovering around the C. For that third line, I have charted a course. He jumps up to the F above that C. So he jumps up to the fourth. That might, in pop music, traditionally, that might be a choice you make to write a harmony line. But he goes right up to it, and the effect is, again, it's intoxicating, it's soaring, and powerful, and unique. It's not expected. It keeps this variation going, so there's not this repetitive thing. Human beings, there's studies about what people like in music, and I'm not an expert on it at all, but some of the research I've heard and seen suggests that people like to hear songs. The songs that people tend to like, the music people tend to like, is familiar enough that they can relate to it. It's not too out there and weird that they can't grab on and relate to it. It's familiar enough, but it has enough variation that it's unique and fresh, which makes sense. So he's doing that. Very simple, but very powerful choices. And then in the last line, he goes back to the C and a similar melody to the first 2 lines. And the last line, so I'll do the third line. I have charted a course to the vineyard. And now the fourth line, because that third line is not quite resolved. By the way, it ends on a D minor, so we're getting a minor again. Fourth line, but tonight I am Nantucket bound. Okay, so we're kind of resolved with this idea, but not quite, because he's ending on the fourth. But tonight I am Nantucket bound. So where is this going? It's going into a second verse that is different from the first. It's kind of an A-B song structure. So I'll play the second verse now. We took on, and it starts on the F. We took on Diesel back in Montauk yesterday. So what did he just do there? He gives us this simple, new verse, but he gives us this simple progression, but on the third chord in the progression, he inverts the C. So it goes F, G, and then this inverted C. Which is, again, it's so beautiful. And it's a little bit melancholy. It's a little more serious. If this were a regular pop song that chose not to do that, it would sound like this. It starts on F. Took on, but listen to it like this, the way he did it. There's like an honor to it. Now, of course, I'm attaching meaning to these chords, as we all do with music, but for me, and part of it is the combination of the lyrics, because the lyrics, we took on Diesel back in Montauk yesterday. And then the next line, he's on the F again, and left this morning from the Bell and Gardner's Bay. So he goes in that second and third chord, A minor to an inverted G, the G over B. So there's this beautiful progression going on in this verse too. We took on Diesel back in Montauk yesterday and left this morning from the Bell and Gardner's Bay. So where's this going? He goes back to the F, because it's not resolved. Like all the locals here, I had to sell my home. Really? Come on, now, like he's pulling on our heartstrings with this, because this is a stoic character. Too proud to leave, too proud to leave. I work my fingers to the bone. So there's two things going on right there. In terms of the music, it's unresolved. Too proud to leave, I worked my fingers to the bone. So I could, and where's he going? He's going back to the melody and chord progressions of the first verse. So I could own my Downeaster Alexa. So you have this thing now where it's one thing is leading to the other. And lyrically, too proud to leave, I worked my fingers to the bone. We have a story now about a character who is stoic and striving towards a goal. And there's oppression in this story. I'm too proud to leave. I've had to sell my home. I worked my fingers to the bone so I could own my Downeaster Alexa. Now, the third thing that's going on here, which is, integral, is the rhythm. There is this driving rhythm. Well, I'm on the Downeaster Alexa, and I'm cruising through Block Island Sound. Bam! Bam! And it's just driving, and you're just strapped in to this song, and it's just moving through time with you. So underneath this beautiful stuff that's going on, lyrically and musically, you have this driving rhythm that is so you just want to strap in, or it just straps you in. It just takes you on this journey, and it's so powerful. Now, what's also really cool about this is the rhythm of the shifting from the A verse to the B verse has its own rhythm to it. It's like a macro rhythm. So he's got this driving rhythm, measure to measure, but then the shifting from the A verse to the B verse also has kind of a natural rhythm to it, all of which keeps you moving through the song. It keeps things going, moving forward. It's not quite resolved, and it's carrying you through. You don't have to wait. You're never bored. So the other thing worth mentioning is these lines, specifically in the first verse, I noticed this. The melody line, it's almost like one thought. In classical music, like if you take the Star Wars theme, that's all one thought over a bunch of measures. His songwriting, the melody has a similar quality to it. It's not just this simple repetitive thing that just happens over and over again that works awesomely well in pop music, but in this case, he's doing something that links one idea together. And again, the effect for me is that it keeps you moving through the song, and you never get bored, and that sense of not quite resolving is there, and it keeps us going. So now let's look at the lyrics as he gets into the third verse. So I could own my Downeaster Alexa, and I go where the ocean is deep. There are giants... Wait, let me get the... So I can own my Downeaster Alexa, and I go where the ocean is deep. There are giants out there in the canyons, and a good captain can't fall asleep. So we're on this journey now with him. And then we go to the B verse. I've got bills to pay and children who need clothes. But let me actually play it with the inversion. I've got bills to pay and children who need clothes. I know there's fish out there, but where God only knows. They say these waters aren't what they used to be, but I've got people back on land who count on me. So we're putting it all together now, and these lyrics. I've got bills to pay and children who need clothes. I know there's fish out there, but where? God only knows. They say these waters aren't what they used to be, but I've got people back on land who count on me. So if you're not into the story and into this character or if you're not into the story with the music, you're into it with the character. I'm into all of it. And then he goes back to the A verse. So when you see my Downeaster Alexa, if you work with the rod and the reel, tell my wife I am trolling Atlantis. and I still have my hands on the wheel. Again, that stoic, gorgeous human character that he suggested in that first minor six at the very beginning of the song. It's playing out in the narrative of the lyrics. And then there's an instrumental bridge, and then the last verse, now I drive my Downeaster Alexa, more and more miles from shore every year, since they told me I can't sell no stripers, and there's no luck in sword fishing here. So he's oppressed, but he won't give up. I was a bayman like my father was before, can't make a living as a bayman anymore. There ain't much future for a man who works the sea, but there ain't no island left for islanders like me. Let me play that for you. I was a bayman like my father was before, can't make a living as a bayman anymore. There ain't much future for a man who works the sea, but there ain't no island left for islanders like me. And we're unresolved, and what does he do in the end of this song? It's so gorgeous. He says, yeah, 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 yo. Yeah, 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 yo. Yeah, 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 yo. Yeah, 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 yo. I mean, come on, man. That's too good. As a performer, if you sit down and play and sing this song, you won't want to stand up until you've played it 10 times because it's so fun to play. It grabs the inside of you and just engages you, and you are locked into the song. I mean, you can see my enthusiasm when I performed that. Singing that melody and playing those chords is intoxicating. And that's the same effect it has on me as a listener. So that's how he ends the song. And again, when you take the combination of this gorgeous storytelling with specifics in the lyrics that tell a story of a character who is oppressed but stoic and striving and sympathetic, and you combine those beautiful lyrics with really gorgeous, simple, unique but familiar melody over chord progression, and combine that with this driving rhythm, you get, for me, the effect of fantastic song that's working on all these levels. So there you go. That's the song Downeaster Alexa, a great example for me of how Billy Joel's songs do what they do, and in doing what they do, make him an artist that I am so impressed with, that he kind of, becomes, he's in that sentence of who's your greatest, or he's in that question, who's the greatest pop recording artist of all time? Here's my argument for Billy Joel. Listen to the song, his version of it, because it's arranged really, it's lovely the way they arrange it, and his singing and playing and the whole band, it's just amazing. And and then what I'll do is I'll play the whole song for you, so now you can hear it all together. But listen to his version, because it's got the drums and everything in it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Well, I'm on my Downeaster Alexa, and I'm cruising through Blackwater Sound. I have charted a course to the vineyard, but tonight I am Nantucket bound. We took on diesel back in Montauk yesterday, and left this morning from the Bell in Gardiner's Bay. Like all the locals here, I've had to sell my home. Too proud to leave, I worked my fingers to the bone, so I could own my Downeaster Alexa. And I go where the ocean is deep. There are giants out there in the canyon, and a good captain can't fall asleep. I got bills to pay and children who need clothes. I know there's fish out there, but where, God only knows. They say these waters aren't what they used to be, but I've got people back on land who count on me. So when you see my Downeaster Alexa, and if you work with the rod and the reel, tell my wife I am trolling Atlantis, and I still have my hands on the wheel. Now I drive my Downeaster Alexa more and more miles from shore every year, since they told me I can't sell no stripers. There's no luck in sword fishing here. I was a bayman like my father was before. Can't make a living as a bayman anymore. There ain't much future for a man who works the sea. There ain't no island left for islanders like me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.